We're back on my Hytale world, and today I would like to talk all about how to use the furnace, because I feel like it's the most essential item to really start. And I still haven't got one. So we need some stone, we need some tree trunk. I don't remember what we have in here, but hopefully this this will do. And let's craft this right here and right now. I think for the time being, we'll just place it down here. As you can see, my sense of design left me when I built this. So inside of the furnace, it's quite simplistic. You put your fuel source here, you put your input here, and you put your output here. So your fuel sources, as you can see when I highlight it, you'll see that the logs are, I can put the logs in here, but I can't put cobblestone, okay? The other two main fuel sources early game will be charcoal and sticks. There is a slight difference between the two. So to explain the difference between charcoal and sticks, you need 4 sticks as a fuel source to smelt 1 ore, and you need 3 charcoal to smelt 1 ore. So technically charcoal is better. However, you just get so many sticks at this point. I do believe it does need a nerf, but because it's just too many. It's just too many sticks. And if you are wondering what the heck I mean by an ore, you've got copper, iron, gold, cobalt, and thorium. Those are your kind of main 5 primary. And you can actually see down here that you need 5 of each, copper, iron, thorium, and cobalt to upgrade it to a tier 2. Now, currently there's only 2 tiers of a furnace of which you can actually use. So we don't need gold for the upgrade. I should clarify that one. We don't need gold. We just need the 4 sets of ore and 5 of each of those. And look what we've got over here, some Highland cows. Oh my gosh, we love to see it. They're just so cute. Anyhow, I think what we need to start doing is to progress a little bit quicker and get some ores. Now, I don't have a cave that I've spotted in the distance, nor do I really have a plan of where we actually are. I haven't really looked at the map. So let's have a gander at what we can expect up here. Oh, it's quite nice. It's quite a nice little spawn point. We've got a lot of blue blah blah blah. We've got quite a few blue biomes spotted around the map. I quite like the look of this area over here, and this area over here piques my interest just a little bit. So I think my best bet is to just head in this general direction and see if I can find anything that looks a little bit like a cave, because that would be quite handy right now. I have just realized that I have not brought my bow, so this is gonna be a fun time. It's you know, it's as easy as that. One day I'll learn the timings on how to block with my sword. There is a chest. I wonder what we get in here. Some stamina potions, like hide, and some aspen log. Very cool. Very fancy. Is there a way inside? No? Is it just a tent? It looks like it's just a tent. That's a shame. POV, you're being chased by something that looks a bit like, oh my gosh, there's 2 of them. just gotta get out of there. Let's not go back. And there does seem to be some mushrooms over here, so we're just going to pick up these. I did get asked what is the best use case for mushrooms, and in my humble opinion, there is a food item called the mushroom salad. It's quite a handy dandy food item. Oh, cave. And I think it is worthwhile collecting mushrooms for the time being, especially as food items can be quite hard to create late game. Or, well, there isn't really many late game food items, to be honest. I think apple pies and pumpkin pies are as extreme as they go. So hopefully in this cave system, there we go. There's some copper straight away. Look at that. Easy. I gotta say, the ambience that these caves give off is a little bit spooky scary. And since the last episode, I have tweaked my settings to not have a super wide field of view, to be a little bit more centered and focused. Seemingly playing in quote-unquote Quake Pro mode isn't very pleasing to the viewer's eyes. Now, these little cocoons are spider eggs. So I don't really want to mess around with spider eggs right this moment. Oh my gosh. This little spider is, you know, it's something. Another spider jump scare. Yeah, that's always a good time. Oh my gosh, it's poisoned me. Why? I think when it comes to early access, you know, there are just a few bugs. And I know a few people I know are a bit hesitant to get the game and wonder how bad the bugs are. Well, a spider looking alive with a 0 health bar, you can't really complain too much. Now, I should also clarify a little fun fact. Every time that I swing the pickaxe and it makes contact, so if I hit here, 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 or here, that is 1 durability per hit. So it's not 1 durability per block breaking. It's per swing and per hit, I guess you could say. So there is a slight weirdness where if you're swinging and then you overswing, which I do all the time, you're wasting durability. So I feel like that's something that a lot of new people wouldn't necessarily realize straight away. So it's just, you know, I'm glad that I could clarify that one once and for all. So eventually you get to this kind of lava cave system. Another fun fact that you may not be aware of, if I just grab one of my torches right here, I can actually drop the torch and it will reveal the light source down at the bottom. So I know that this is iron ore, but I do have to be extremely careful for that over there. If anything, I probably should start thinking about heading out of this cave system because we're not armored up at all. And even with copper armor, I would say it's a little bit of a challenge to navigate down here. And of course, my pickaxe is just the beginner pickaxe. So you can see going through all of this stuff down here, it takes a little bit longer than I would like. And just for safety, I am going to consume one of these berries and just, you know, whack a couple of these. Now, this is how you get plant fiber down here, so I could craft another pickaxe if I need to. But I just want to be very, very careful because currently we haven't found any, but frogs are legitimately the worst thing I've ever seen in this game. Not a fan of the frogs. I think that's still copper up there. But before I do head up to the surface, I would like a little bit more iron because if I'm making a video about furnaces, I should get more than just copper, you know? And my pickaxe has broken. I don't see the point of repairing a crude pickaxe. Personally, if it's not iron, I probably wouldn't use a repair kit. But that's just personal preference. Some people may want to just use a crude pickaxe. And it's quite handy to know all these little tidbits, I guess. And I think it's something that isn't really well documented at this point in time. Mostly because the game is, what, like 3 days old? I do believe that might be an element of why there isn't a lot of information out there. I just want to get out of this cave system sooner rather than later. I don't really want to take too many risks with the lava biome down below because it's a little bit sketchy right now. I think what I'm going to do is just get a little bit more copper to just guarantee that I am able to make a full set of armor. So now that we are back at the surface, let's just pop along to our furnace, chuck in a couple bits of ore and click the turn on button right here. As I clarified earlier, we can actually use 2 slots for input. So if I wanted to, I could actually put in the iron like this. And once I finish with the copper, the iron would then smelt and it would also go into the output section. For the sake of this, I am needing some copper armor. So we're just gonna chuck in as much copper as I can put in right now, and we can focus on getting we can focus on farming again. Off camera, I did actually plant a couple of lettuces because I do want to get to the tier 2 farmer's workbench so we can trade in wheat to be able to get essence of life. I really want to focus on that, but today it's all about the furnace. So something that we are going to need to be able to get a full set of copper armor is we're going to need an armorer's workbench. So let's get that Where is it? It's one of these. Oh, it's right there. It's right there. So I need 2 copper ingots. Let's pop along and get that. And then create that very quickly. So within here, we'll see that we need 6 copper iron ingots to be able to get the helmet. We're going to need 11 to get the chest piece. And we're also going to need 5 for the gauntlets and also 9 for the copper greaves. But for anyone who's actually quick at maths, you'll understand that that is 31 copper ingots for a full set. So remember that. I guess that's a number that once you hear me saying it once, you're never going to be able to forget. 31 copper ingots. So any moment now we will have enough copper. So with that, that is 31. Let's head over to here. We're going to need some plant fibers. So let's head back over to my chest, gather some of this, and let's make a helmet. And we'll make a chest piece. Next, it is the gauntlets. And finally, it is the greaves. Look, chat, that was 31! 31 copper, that's all it took. So the interesting thing about armor is you don't just get health points, you actually get certain different, I guess, effects in some ways or another. So you see there, we've got projectile resistance and physical resistance. Different armor has different effects. And of course, we spoke earlier about iron, thorium, cobalt. We didn't talk about adamite and we didn't talk about mithril. But for example, if I want to look at thorium, you can see that here you actually get poison resistance, which is quite good against spiders. Whereas here, this one has signature attack damage increasing by 4%. It's quite handy. Now, unfortunately, I actually don't have enough charcoal or sticks to keep this going. So we are going to need to get some more trees chopped down. And hopefully by that point, we'll be able to replenish it with the essence of life that I taught you about in the last episode. So with just a couple of trees chopped down, we now have 64 sticks. It's not too bad at all. There is a skeleton all the way over here, which we shall annihilate easy as pie. And while the furnace is now blazing, let's put on a couple bits of meat so we can also have a food source. And talking about food, I think the lettuces, yes, they are ready to be harvested. So let's just collect some of these. Look at me go. And we are going to want to get just a couple more lettuces as well as a few more wheat. I am aware I have a few more essences, so I might as well just get some more lettuce. So while the remainder of my ores are cooking up, I do want to upgrade my tools to be copper. So I need to access the workbench, head over to here and get a hatchet as well as a pickaxe. And then also after this, I do want to get a couple more workbenches, specifically the chef stove, which is very handy to make tier 2 and tier 3 food, as well as the blacksmith. So I am able to upgrade my swords and to be able to look at all the different weapons that we will be able to obtain very, very soon. We are running out of space over here, so I'm sorry this is gonna break so many aesthetics, but we'll just leave them there for the time being. And here is the mushroom salad that I was talking about, and as you can see, it's pretty good. You know, 3 mushrooms and a lettuce. It's not a bad food item. But that being said, for an even cheaper price for the exact same effect, you can use the mushroom skewer, which I don't know why it has the same ability and is a lot cheaper. And whereas the salad, you need to do lettuce, but you know, aesthetically, the mushroom salad is a lot cuter. Now, because we are getting a little bit of iron, when it comes to swords and weapons, I personally think that it's worth skipping copper and going straight towards iron. But of course, for that, we are going to need to have a tanning rack. And also, this can be upgraded to be a tier 2. The only difference between tier 1 and tier 2 is you actually get 1 more slot. Whereas I personally think it's a lot cheaper to just make another tanning rack. So then you might have 2 tanning racks, but then you'll have 4 slots, and no one really wants to waste their leather that early game. Something that I have forgotten to mention about the furnace is when you use sticks, that's when you get charcoal. But if you're using charcoal as the fuel source, you don't get any byproduct. So if you were to smelt, let's say, copper, iron, and cobalt in one furnace with like a tier 2 furnace, you would be wasting a slot with having charcoal as a byproduct. So you know, it's whatever your personal preference is, but if you're trying to make something the most effective, then probably using sticks and having the byproduct of charcoal isn't ideal for a productive workflow when it comes to furnaces. If that makes sense at all. I am aware that sounded quite wordy. So now that the tanning rack is finished and I've got 4 light leather, I can actually go ahead and craft the iron sword, which is quite an upgrade compared to the crude sword. And of course, with this, we will be able to craft a watering can as well as a bucket, because we are going to need a source of water to help with the farming, because without water, we're not getting that 2.5 times growth speed that would be more ideal. So I think off camera, what I'm gonna do is waddle over here, ignore these cute piggies, and get some water. And with that, I'll see y'all very soon.